A British surveyor walks into the Amazon jungle with his son and one companion. They carry supplies, maps, and coordinates for a city no European has ever confirmed. None of them walk out. No bodies are recovered, no camp is found. The jungle simply absorbs 3 men and offers nothing back. Lieutenant Colonel Percy Harrison Fawcett was not a romantic amateur. He was a trained surveyor who had spent years mapping uncharted regions of South America for the Royal Geographical Society. His expeditions into the Amazon River region had given him direct experience of the terrain, the dangers, and the indigenous peoples who lived there. Based on early histories of South America and his own fieldwork, Fawcett developed a theory. He believed a complex civilization had once existed in the Mato Grosso state of Brazil. Not a golden fantasy, but a real settlement, one whose isolated ruins might still survive beneath the canopy. He called it Z. The name was deliberately understated, a placeholder for something he intended to locate and document. What normal looked like for Fawcett was returning. He had gone into difficult jungle before and come back with data, with stories, with scars. Every previous expedition had ended with his emergence from the forest. In 1925, Fawcett organized what would become his final expedition. He brought 2 companions into the Brazilian jungle. One was his own son, Jack. The party entered the Mato Grosso region with the specific objective of finding evidence for the civilization Fawcett had long hypothesized about. They carried what they needed. They had planned a route, and then the record simply ends. There is no verified account of what happened after the party moved deeper into the jungle. No distress signal was sent. No remains were confirmed through any official investigation at the time. The 3 men disappeared completely. The Amazon offered no testimony, no wreckage, no trace that could be authenticated. What followed was decades of silence, speculation, and failed recovery efforts. Multiple expeditions attempted to trace Fawcett's route or locate evidence of the party's fate. None produced conclusive physical proof. The jungle, vast and largely unmapped in that era, presented the same indifferent face to every searcher who followed. Some of these rescue parties themselves suffered casualties. The forest that had taken Fawcett continued to demonstrate exactly why his disappearance was plausible without any hostile human intervention. The question was never simply where Fawcett died. It was whether his theory had any foundation at all. And this is where the case shifts from a story of personal tragedy to something more consequential. Fawcett believed a complex civilization had once existed in the Amazon. In the early 20th century, this was considered fringe thinking. The prevailing academic view held that the Amazon rainforest could not have supported large, organized settlements. The soil was too poor, the environment too hostile. Fawcett's hypothesis was treated as obsession at best, delusion at worst. His disappearance seemed to confirm the judgment. The jungle had swallowed a man who chased a fantasy. His vanishing became its own kind of evidence, deployed against the very idea he had championed. But the story did not end with his vanishing. In 2009, American author David Grann published a non-fiction book investigating Fawcett's life and disappearance. The book, titled The Lost City of Z, A Tale of Deadly Obsession in the Amazon, recounts Fawcett's activities and his 1925 disappearance with his son in the Amazon rainforest. Grann retraced parts of Fawcett's journey into the Amazon and, according to his account, discovered new evidence about how Fawcett may have died. The book brought renewed attention to both the man and his theory, yet the precise fate of Fawcett, his son, and their companion remained unresolved. Grann's work offered possibilities, not proof. It reopened the question without settling it. The investigation into Fawcett's disappearance has produced at least 2 broad explanations, each with supporting logic and each with significant gaps. The first is death by hostile encounter. Indigenous groups in the region had reason to distrust outsiders. A confrontation could have ended the party without leaving evidence accessible to later searchers. This explanation accounts for the total absence of remains or equipment, but it relies on inference rather than documented testimony. No indigenous group has provided a verified account confirming this outcome. The second explanation is death by environmental attrition. Disease, starvation, injury from the terrain itself. The Amazon has killed experienced explorers through accumulation of small failures. A broken leg, a fever, contaminated water. Any of these could have ended the expedition without dramatic confrontation. This explanation is consistent with the jungle's documented lethality, but it struggles to account for the complete absence of any trace. Typically, equipment or partial remains surface eventually. In this case, nothing has. A third possibility exists at a lower confidence level. Some have speculated that Fawcett chose not to return, that he deliberately disappeared into indigenous life. This theory has no documented support and conflicts with Fawcett's known character as a man driven to report findings and share discoveries with the institutions that funded him. It remains speculation rather than a ranked explanation. What makes this case endure beyond a single explorer's fate is what happened to his idea. Fawcett proposed that complex civilizations could exist in the Amazon. He was dismissed. He vanished trying to prove it. And then, decades later, archaeological evidence began to emerge, suggesting that large organized settlements had indeed existed in the Amazon basin. The academic consensus shifted. The jungle was not empty before European contact. It had been home to engineered landscapes, road networks, and population centers that sustained thousands. Fawcett was wrong about many specifics. His vision of Z was shaped by European frameworks and assumptions about what a civilization should look like. But his core instinct, that something significant had existed in that forest, was not the delusion his critics claimed. The irony is precise and irreversible. The man who insisted the Amazon held secrets died before those secrets were confirmed by others using methods he never had access to. His disappearance reinforced the very skepticism that later discoveries would dismantle. The case reveals a particular kind of tragedy, not the tragedy of being wrong, but the tragedy of being approximately right at exactly the wrong time. Fawcett's disappearance became the cautionary tale that reinforced the skepticism he fought against. His absence was used as evidence that the jungle was simply too hostile for civilization, when in fact civilizations had thrived there for centuries before European contact erased their memory from the wider world. 3 men enter the Mato Grosso in 1925. The jungle gives back nothing, not bones, not equipment, not answers. The city Fawcett sought may not have matched his vision, but something was there. Something had been there long before him. The strongest question is not what killed Percy Fawcett. It is why the proof he needed was already beneath his feet, invisible, waiting another century to be recognized by the world he left behind. The unsolved vault. Every case leaves something behind.